Good evening. Exactly 11 months ago today, Congressman Mark Foley became an infamous man, eventually most Republican leaders believe, helping their party lose control of Congress. Tonight in the fifth story on our countdown, Idaho Republican Senator Larry Craig taking a step some Republican insiders have suggested to NBC Washington Bureau Chief Tim Russert could start him and them down that same path. Not just belligerently denying he did anything wrong in a Minneapolis airport men's room, despite his own guilty plea, which he kept secret, but also angrily picking a fight with his own state's leading newspaper. It was June 11th when Senator Craig was arrested on suspicion of lewd conduct. These are the mugshots. His guilty plea on a lesser charge, August 8th. The exhaustive investigation published by the Idaho Statesman newspaper coming today, vehemently but vaguely denied by Senator Craig. That investigation, including a taped interview with a man whom the paper does not identify, who claims he and Senator Craig engaged in oral sex 3 years before Craig's arrest. Some of that tape in a moment. Today, much of the focus was on the details of the arrest. The police claim that Craig reached his foot under a bathroom stall divider to tap the foot of a plainclothes officer, and even his reported explanation that he has, quote, a wide stance. Speaking today, Senator Craig addressed no specifics about any allegations except the matter of his own sexual orientation. It started with the strangest possible selection of words.
Thank you all very much for coming out today. I will read a statement. First, please let me apologize to my family, friends, and staff, and fellow Idahoans for the cloud placed over Idaho. I did nothing wrong at the Minneapolis airport. I did nothing wrong, and I regret the decision to plead guilty and the sadness that decision has brought on my wife, my family, friends, staff, and fellow Idahoans. And for that, I apologize. In June, I overreacted and made a poor decision. While I was not involved in any inappropriate conduct at the Minneapolis airport or anywhere else, I chose to plead guilty to a lesser charge in hopes of making it go away. I did not seek any counsel, either from an attorney, staff, friends, or family. That was a mistake, and I deeply regret it. Because of that, I have now retained counsel, and I am asking counsel to review this matter and to advise me on how to proceed. For a moment, I want to put my state of mind into context on June 11th. For 8 months leading up to June 11th, my family and I have been relentlessly and viciously harassed by the Idaho Statesman. If you saw the article today, you know why. Let me be clear. I am not gay. I never have been gay. Still, without a shred of truth or evidence to the contrary, the Statesman has engaged in this witch hunt. In pleading guilty, I overreacted in Minneapolis because of the stress the Idaho Statesman investigation and the rumors it has fueled all around Idaho.
Senator Craig's claim that he revealed his arrest to no one, apparently conflicting with a report by the Minnesota Airport Police, which says Craig returned to that police station 11 days later and, quote, Craig told me that he needs a contact so his lawyer can speak to someone. A spokeswoman, though, for the Airport Commission seeming to support Craig's claim, telling Countdown prosecutors never heard from his attorney or attorneys. Senator Craig's claim of a witch hunt by the Idaho Statesman refers to a lengthy investigation which culminated in a May 14th interview with both Craig and his wife, unpublished until now. During that interview, the paper confronted the Craigs with allegations from two men who said the senator had propositioned them, one in 1967, one in 1994. And the paper played for the Craigs audio tape of a third man who said he had encountered the senator in Washington's Union Station, probably in 2004.
We went to the urinals where we both unzipped. The restroom became busy, too busy to do anything. So we zipped up and then followed each other to the second restroom in Union Station, where we began the same process and had a I also performed fellatio for a very, very short amount of time as that restroom became busy as well. At that point, we both zipped up and left and went on our separate ways. I've always been interested in politics, and probably if you showed me pictures of the 100 senators, I could probably name 75 or 80 of them. There's no doubt in my mind that that's who it was.
Today, Senate Republicans called for the Ethics Committee to look into all this, and presidential candidate Mitt Romney accepted Craig's resignation as the campaign's Senate liaison. Joining us now from the radio network Air America, Rachel Maddow, whose show airs weeknights on that network. Rachel, as always, good evening and thanks for your time.
Thanks, Keith.
We mentioned earlier that Craig is no longer part of the Romney campaign team. Here's what the senator had to say about the governor before today.
Knowing Governor Mitt Romney is knowing somebody who first and foremost has very strong family values. That's something I grew up with and believe in.
Mark Foley, family values. Pastor Haggard, family values. Here we have Senator Craig, family values. Is it time to assume when a politician invokes that phrase, they're compensating for something in their own lives?
Well, it's Mark Foley, Republican Congressman Mark Foley of Florida. It's Republican Congressman Duke Cunningham of San Diego. It's Republican Senator David Vitter of Louisiana. It's the president of the National Association of Evangelicals, Ted Haggard. It's John McCain's Florida campaign co-chair, Bob Allen. It's the Bush White House aide czar, Randall Tobias. And now it's Republican Idaho Senator Larry Craig. So I think the safest, most conservative way to respond to that is to say that everybody who demagogues on the issue of family values, except for those guys, is definitely totally pure as the driven snow and isn't throwing stones from a glass house at all. Those guys obviously are the only exceptions, and everybody else is kosher.
Conservative with a small c. Mitt Romney was asked today by Larry Kudlow on CNBC whether Senator Craig should resign. I want to play you his answer, and then you can assess whether or not there's a double standard at work in here.
I don't know the circumstances right now of his setting, and so I really can't make that call without having reviewed it. Larry, I will review that, and we'll give you a call on that. I certainly felt that Bill Clinton shouldn't have stayed in office.
Clinton? Again? Really? How does this work? Parse this for us, Rachel, please.
Well, Mitt Romney is in a little bit of a spot because he's running for the Republican nomination, and he has to be really, really, really anti-gay in order to compensate for being the governor of same-sex marriage Massachusetts if he wants to win over the Republican base and win the Republican nomination. And so Mitt Romney's in this spot where, on the one hand, he could just throw Larry Craig under the bus, which I think is what he's going to do. If he doesn't do that, he ends up standing with Larry Craig through this awkward series of denials, however implausible, that Larry Craig appears to be mounting as his strategy here. I mean, if I were Mitt Romney and those were my choices, I, too, would probably retreat to the very comfortable political ground of blaming Bill Clinton.
You mentioned the implausibility factor. Why pick the fight with the newspaper? He said, without a shred of evidence, there's a lot of evidence. You may not like the anonymity of the sources here, but this man has been answering questions like these since the congressional page scandals of 1982. What is the psychology and what are the political psychologies of pulling a Gary Hart I double dare you against the media? That's
exactly what this is, and you identified that correctly. This is the exact wrong strategy to take if you really do want to try to weather this as a storm. I mean, if I were the Gay Scandal Getting Out of Advice Incorporated, if I were trying to give him some advice on how to get out of this, I would say do anything except flat out deny that you were ever gay and had ever done anything like this, because all it takes is one incident among the so many of them that have been alleged against Larry Craig. All it takes is for one of them to be proven, and he's absolutely, positively sunk.
Rachel Maddow of Air America, as always, great thanks for your time, my friend.
Thank you, Keith.